Start months here. Good morning, a good moed. Hope you had a wonderful yontif. Today we are Chol Sukkos. We're getting back into the groove, and today's shir is Perek Ches of Kilayim. Says Kilayim. And today's shir is sponsored Lili Nishmas Aaron Nachman ben Sucha Kohen, Yeshua Mordechai ben Shepsel, Bracha Sarah Shmolei, Ben Yom Moshe ben Yosef, Ben Hashem having Aliyah, and for Shlema Ada Sarah Bas Leib Sosh Ar Chole Yisrael. And we begin. So this Mishnah summarizes the activities that are forbidden and which are permitted for each of the four types of kilayim that are forbidden by the Torah. So the four various types of kilayim are in the vineyard. One, seeds, kilayim of garments, the shatnez, and kilayim of animals. So this Perek is going to be focusing on Kilayim behema of animals, because we spoke about already Kilayim Karim and Kilayim of the fields that we already spoke about in the previous Perek. So this Mishnah is a recap of all four categories, and then goes into the Perek of the behema. The Kilayim Karim, Mishnah Aleph begins. Kilayim Karim, Kilayim of the vineyard. Asur Mizroa is forbidden for one to plant. Now let it plant Kilayim Karim, or to maintain, meaning that that person may not allow Kilayim to remain in his vineyard even if he did not plant it. But Asur Behana, and one is forbidden to derive benefit from it. So that's Kilayim Karim. The next type of Kilayim is Kilayim Zerah, Kilayim of seeds, meaning wheat and barley and all those vegetables and all those asurim with Israel Melekayim is forbidden for one to plant or to maintain in one's fields, but it is permitted for one to eat. The kosher certainly to derive other forms of benefit from it. So it seems from the Mishnah that things like a nectarine, which is a cross between a plum and a peach, and let's say a Braco flower, which is a cross between a cauliflower and a broccoli. Going to the Mishnah, it's also to plant it, but if a goy planted it, then if a non-Jew planted it, then you can eat it. Which is a funny thing to think about, because like the shatnez. I didn't tie the shatnez. We'll get to that soon. Here in the next part of the Mishnah, clay begotten kilayim of garments, clothes made from a mixture of wool and linen, which is known as shatnez, is permitted in every way. And the person can make such clothes, you can keep them, and you can benefit from them. Ve'enon asurin el mililbush. It is only prohibited only to wear them. You can't wear shatnez. You can combine them. And it's a very funny thing. Like, why am I usher? Is it usher to plant the seeds, to plant kilayim in the ground, because you can eat them, but by begadim you could weave them, you could do whatever you want with. You can make shatnez, but you can't wear it. It's a very funny thing. We're going to learn more about shatnez in the next chapter, which is tomorrow's shir. The next type, and the fourth one, is Kilayim behema, Kilayim of animals, different species of animals that may not be crossbred. Mutaru legadol are permitted for one to raise. That is, a person may raise two types of animals together in the same pen. Lekayim, and he may maintain them if they mate on their own. The Einan Asurim element of Harbiya. It is forbidden only to manually mate them. The Mishnah has another law about kilayim of animals. Kilayim behema assumes that animals born from different combinations of kilayim are forbidden to be mated with each other. For example, a mule is the offspring of a horse that breeds with a donkey. A mule whose father is a horse and mother is a donkey may not be mated with a mule whose father is a donkey and a mother is the horse. Even though they're both mules, only two animals that come from the same combination may be mated. So the rest of this chapter discusses the kilayim of animals. So the Torah answers two types of kilayim of animals. One, crossbreeding two different types of animals, and two, working with a team that consists of two types of animals. Having discussed in the previous Mishnah some laws about crossbreeding animals, the Mishnah describes which kind of animals may not be worked together. The Mishnah base, behema in behema. A person may not work one type of domesticated animal together with another type of domesticated animal. Meaning you can't work a sheep with a goat. The same thing with wild animals. You can't put together, say, a deer and an elephant. Behema imchaya. So you can't put a male domestic animal with a female animal, a female wild animal, meaning like let's say a sheep with a deer. Bechaya im behema, and a male wild animal, the female domestic animal. Tameya in tameya, one type of non-kosher animal with another type of non-kosher animal, meaning, say, a horse with a donkey. You can't do that. The tahora im tahora, one type of kosher animal with another type of kosher animal, meaning a sheep with a cow. Tameya im tahora, a male non-kosher animal with a female kosher animal, meaning a donkey with a sheep. But tahora im tameya, or a male kosher animal with a female non-kosher animal, asurin lachrush limshoch lahani. Person is forbidden to plow with any of these pairs of animals, or to pull them, or to lead them together to perform any kind of work. In short, it is forbidden to do any kind of work using any two different types of animals. You need to have two of the same animals, period. Mishnah Gimel. Hamanhig Sofig Esar. If someone who leads a team of different species, he gets Malchus Arban. You do whip him 40 times. Not really 40 times, really 39 times. But that's the standard punishment for violating a Torah prohibition. But even when someone who simply sits in a wagon that is pulled by two different species receives 40 lashes. Because by sitting in the wagon, he causes the animal to move, even if he does not actually drive them. So the driver is going to get hit with the lashes, and so will the passenger. Very interesting thing. Rabbi Meir exempts the person who simply sits in the wagon led by two different animals. So Rabbi Meir says, no, you're not going to punish the passenger. You're going to punish the driver who's running this business. Another case, if two animals of the same type are harnessed to a wagon, and a third animal is tied to their straps, Asura, he's tied in the back. Asura, this team is forbidden to lead, although the third animal is not needed to pull the wagon. It nevertheless helps out, and thus the team is Kilayim. Mishnah Dalit. Ein koshernis and sus lo l'tzidei hakaron lo l'achar hakaron. If oxen are pulling a wagon, one may not tie a horse to the side of the wagon or to the back of the wagon. Although a horse tied to the side or back does not pull the wagon, at times it pushes the wagon along and helps it move. Thus, it is considered working together with the oxen and is kilayim. Lo es haludukim, the gemalim. And a person may not harness a luvdekim, meaning a large animal that resembles a camel, with camels, even though Eluvdukim looks like a camel, it is in fact a type of donkey and may not be harnessed together with a camel. The Mishnah teaches how Kilayim applies to the two mules, meaning the hybrid of a horse and a donkey. Rabbi Yehuda says, Kol hanoladim and asus, all mules born from female horses, Afa Pisha and Chamor, even though their fathers are donkeys, Utar and Zemzeh are permitted to be worked with one another. V'chein hanoladim and Chamor, similarly, all mules that were born from female donkeys, Afa Pisha and Sus, even though their fathers are horses, they are permitted to work with one another. However, mules that are born from a female horse and mules born from a female donkey are forbidden to work with one another, even though they are both mules. The species of an animal is determined by its mother, unless only mules with the same species of mother may be worked together. Period. What's the difference? How do you tell the two of them apart? If you have a bunch of mules in one location, how do you know which ones are which? So it's simple, not simple, but the Gemara in Chulin, Daf Ayin Tes Amud Aleph tells us that a mule whose mother is a donkey has longer ears and a shorter tail and a deeper voice than a male whose mother is a horse. Moving on, fun fact for today. Okay, so now we got Proteos Asuros. Two Proteos, that's a variety of a mule, are forbidden to be paired up for work or to be mated. Unlike ordinary mules, Proteos do not have features that identify whether their mother was a horse or a donkey. Therefore, no two Proteos may be paired together because their mothers might be from different species. But a Ramach, a type of animal whose mother is a horse, is permitted to be paired together with any Ramach for work or for mating. Since all Ramachs come from a mother who is a horse, they are considered one species. Okay, so now animals are divided into two different categories. You have a Chai, which is a wild animal. You have a Behema, which is a domestic animal, and you have a Sheretz, which is a creeping animal. Different laws apply to each category. So now we're going to talk about how certain animals are classified. For Adnei Hasada Chai, the Adnei Hasada, which is a certain creature that has human-like characteristics, it's unknown to us today to what this really is, but it has a face, hands, and legs resemble that of a human. It is attached to the ground by a cord from its navel, and it draws its sustenance from the ground through the cord. If the cord is cut, it dies. That's according to the Rav and the Tiferes Yisrael, who identifies it as a type of ape. Interesting. The Adnei Hasada is the Chaya. Therefore, its carcass transmits tumah, as do the carcasses of chayas, but not as human corpses do, because human corpses in Aviyavos tumah, and a tumah of a chaya is a lesser category. Yeah, so the carcass of a chaya spreads tumah to any person or object that touches or carries it. Tumas maga. The human corpse transmits tumah in these ways and also through tumas ohel. The person or object forms the roof over a corpse. The corpse forms the roof over it, or if it's under the same roof as the corpse, the person can become tummy. Since the Adnei Hasada is a chaya, its carcass transmits tumah only by tumas maga u masa. But by touching it or moving it. Rabbi Yossi says, "Metumas ba'ol k'adam." Adnei Hasada also transmit tumah through a roof as a human corpse does. Hakupad v'chuldas hasniyim chayim. The porcupine and stone marten, a weasel-like animal, are chayas. They're meaning that the carcasses that transmit tumah following the rules for carcasses of chayas. Chuldas hasniyim. However, regarding the stone marten, this machlokas Rabbi Yossi, Omer Beishami Omrim. Rabbi Yossi says that Beishamai says that some laws of chayah and some laws of sheretz. Mitami kazayis b'masa, an olive-sized piece of its carcass transmits tumah if it is carried, as it does the carcass of a chayah. And a lentil-sized piece of its carcass transmits tumah if it is touched, as does the carcass of a sheretz. And finally, Mishnah Vav, Shor Bar Min Behema. The wild ox is a type of behema, and is thus subject to the law that applies to behemoths and not the laws that apply to chayas. Rabbi Yossi Omer Min Chayah. Rabbi Yossi says this is a type of chayah. Kilayim Min Chayah. The dog is a type of chayah. Sorry, Kelev Min Chayah. The dog is a type of chayah. Rabbi Meir Omer Min Behema. Rabbi Meir says that a dog is a type of behema. Because a lot of dogs are domesticated. Chazir Min Behema. The pig is a type of behema. Arud Min Chayah. The arud, which is a kind of wild donkey, is a type of chayah. Hapil v'akuf min chayah. The elephant and the monkey are each chayas. And finally, Adam mutter in kulam. But a person is permitted to do work together with all of them, with any type of animal. Nimshov v'lachrosh v'lahanik, whether to pull, to plow, or to lead. It is only two animals that may not be worked together. An animal may work together with a human. That is the end of Perek. We will finish tomorrow with Perek Tes, Agit Moed, and a call Tov.